Welcome back to the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast. On today's show, we got Ehrich and Michael Colligan. We're going to talk something through real quick, but before we get to that, I want you to get a grip right now on gripblocksystems.com, Ehrich.
That's
Cable
right, you should.
suspension systems. So, you know what? It's like super exciting for a cable suspension system. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's way better than chain. We know that
Oh,
at this point. We've talked about it before. You got to get rid of the chain.
jack chain is
It
for
blocks where it's at.
losers. Jack chain's for
There's,
losers.
absolutely. So the key component with this grip block cable gripper system is a self-locking, completely adjustable device. No tools needed. Up and down or up, as often as you want. And where it stops, it locks. That's grip block for you.
Go to gripblocksystems.com. That's right. Don't be a loser. Get rid of that jack chain. Grip Block Systems. And of course, you got light bulbs in a warehouse? You have light bulbs in a warehouse, do you? Do you sell them over the counter? You sell them on the order desk? You got people in the field? You got maybe a little secret account on Amazon? You sell them on your website? Whatever you're doing out there, if you have light bulbs in a warehouse, the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors is your association. We have a convention September 22nd and 24th. It's called The Future of Lighting Distribution. There you go. Why wouldn't you go to that if you're a lighting distributor? If you have light bulbs in a warehouse. And, Greg, I'm not going to be a loser May 4th from 8th in Las Vegas. You know where I'm going to be.
You're going to be at Light Fair. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a great precursor to the nailed show. You go to both this year. That's how it works. I mean, as long as you can get into the nailed. It's exclusive to some degree.
Got to
That'd
be
be
a
a big
member to
cut.
go to the nailed convention, sucker. We're going to put out our draft itinerary. We're going to put out an itinerary real soon. It might not be exact, Greg, but it's going to be, we don't, because sometimes things change a little bit over the course of 9 months in the industry, we got to make a change.
Mhm.
So we're going to put out a draft itinerary for all you peeps out there that are lighting distributors, electrical distributors that sell a lot of lighting. Get into nailed. Of course, go to Light Fair. What's happening, Greg Ehrich?
Well, let's talk about what this show, the Nailed Show, is going to actually be about, is the future of lighting distribution. We're lighting distributors. We're in the field when we're not out here recording. Some days more than others, like today, but other times we're out in the field. So I sent you a couple pictures that you guys are going to see on screen if you're watching. If you're not, it's a 1x4 lay-in prismatic lens troffer in a sheetrock ceiling.
Exactly,
So
drywall. And with a drywall
drywall.
mounting kit, dirty.
Yeah, so not
That's
not a
dirty.
nice normal lay-in ceiling. Okay, they got that. And then that other picture you see is when you open it, and it looks just like a fluorescent fixture from below. When you open it, it's got an LED chipboard strip right down the center. So it
Yeah.
means it's a purpose-built fixture. I think you've heard from both of us enough about purpose-built and the issues there and how it's garbage and all that. But maybe it's not garbage. I started looking at this today, and this was just recent. I looked at
This
it
one
and
has a chance.
this has a chance.
This one has a
And you see,
chance.
and the reason it has a chance is because it's basically a fluorescent fixture
It is.
without a tube in it, without a socket in it. And I looked at it, and the dates for 2016. That's right when this was hot. Like we don't know. We're gonna just kind of put an LED into this fluorescent fixture.
You know what? You might be able to get in, like, you could even maybe get in an LED T5. You know what I mean?
Might be able, yeah.
Because it's shorter and you could get it up there higher. You could get a little socket bracket made to put in at the end. Like, there's some things you could do to this one. Most of them, no way. But this one, I'm saying there's a chance.
Yeah, well, there's I've seen a fixture like this in some schools and some other facilities as well, where I'm like, yeah, and maybe there is a chance in others. I mean, a flat panel, no, there's not
No,
a chance.
you're not,
But a center
especially
basket,
an edgelit flat panel. No
you're
chance.
dead.
Done.
But
Garbage.
like a center basket fixture, troffer,
Yeah.
you can oftentimes pop the lens, and if there's enough depth, there are magnetic kits. I'm not going to say where you can get them from, but
Sure.
there's magnetic strip kits. There
Yeah.
are tech screwed in strip kits. There's different things you can do with that. So, and maybe you could try to jimmy rig a socket
No,
connector.
we're not talking about a Jimmy rig.
Okay, you're talking
We're talking about a
how?
legitimate custom-made retrofit kit with white sheet metal, where it is field certified in Ontario. It will be field certified by the Electrical Safety Authority. So
Okay.
we can get it. We can redo the CUL or the CSA on it with the ESA here in Ontario, and you can show them and demonstrate your kit. Like, you have to be talking about someone that's got 400, 500, 5,000 of these, not someone that's got
Yes.
5, right?
Yeah, you're right.
They got
That's what this
5,
is.
you're
It's
replacing the fixture.
hundreds.
But if
So you're
somebody's got
talking
100,
you're talking like almost like a ballast cover in a way that it's like
yes,
mini strip fixture. that you
Yes,
put inside.
exactly. And you go
Okay. Yeah.
T5 so it's shorter. You know what I mean? Because a T5
Yep.
is 46 and a half as opposed to
Yeah.
48. So you get a little more room for a socket in there. And you could do like a quarter inch or a half inch kind of ballast plate with some tech screws and run the wires through the middle if it's wired in the middle. And you could have a pop out socket at the end and pop in a T5, buddy. That's what I would do.
Yeah. I mean, so there are going to be, and this is kind of this topic of the future of lighting
And you
distribution.
could go T5HO replacement if it's not bright enough, or you could
Yeah.
go T5HE if it's too bright. You could go either way. You got some room to move. You got some color temperatures to play with. I would go
Yeah.
lamp based. I wouldn't go with those magnetic stuff. I tell them, listen, moving forward, we're going to use the fixture you have, and you got a light bulb to change when you move forward. That would be my sales pitch.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can get a kit like that, and it reminds me of as you're talking, is
If
like,
you want to call Atlas Lighting after this, we can get you a price for a kit if you need one.
you, you got it ready. I
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, yeah. I might have it in the
Yeah.
back.
No, I mean, and I think there's some legitimacy to that, and something where it reminds me of 2008, 9, 10, like
Yeah.
when they're coming out with all these cute conversion kits for
Yeah.
fixtures, and we're almost back to that to some degree. It's like, all right, now how do we keep the fixture but make it LED or make it replaceable? Now, how do you
I
keep the
know what to do
fixture,
with
make
it.
it replaceable?
The reason why this one works is because you have some room to move.
You have depth, and
You got some depth. You
yeah,
got some depth to
mhm,
play with. I had a guy emailed me today. He's like, I got these fixtures. They're recessed in concrete. They're metal halide. The customer wants like some kind of flat panel, but he doesn't understand that this is a custom like template in poured into the base of the concrete. I'm like, brother, we're gonna retrofit those. Don't worry about it. But you know what the
yeah,
problem was? He sent me every other dimension except the depth between the front of the fixture and the socket. The only thing he didn't send me is the most important thing.
the
You know what
only
I'm
thing
saying?
is the thing you needed. Yeah,
The
that
depth.
happens most of the time.
But he had measurements of everything else. Everything else was measured except the depth from the socket to the front. But we're going to get
Sure.
him in there with a high lumen filament lamp. Everything's going to be okay. Bypass
Yeah.
that ballast and get a little sticker from the Electrical Safety Authority. I love a good retrofit, man. It makes me feel good.
Yeah, I wonder is that our future? Is that what it is going to be? Is trying to figure out a way to retro these purpose-built LEDs?
You
It's
know
kind
what?
of a
We're going to set up the
different angle.
committee. We're going to set up the circular economy committee because I'm going to tell you straight up. When you talk to the ivory tower about circular economy, these people are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I'm going to tell you straight up. Like they don't have in like when I say they don't know what they're talking about, I mean that. They do not know what they're talking about. They've never removed 500 fixtures from a commercial building before. That is not going to a remanufacturing plant to be reworked. That is only shredding for scrap metal. Once you remove those fixtures from the ceiling, you're done, buddy. That's over. Nobody's doing anything with that anymore. Would you agree with that, Greg? What are you going to
Yeah,
pack them
I
on
agree.
pallets all nice so the sheet metal doesn't get bent, doesn't get
Um,
scratched? No one's going to paint that thing again. Nothing's going to happen with that. It
yeah,
has to stay in the ceiling. It has to be
yes,
retrofitted in the absolute existing place it's in. And if you can do that, then you can retrofit. If you have to remove something and you're expecting it to be remanufactured, a lighting fixture to be remanufactured, you don't know how much light fixtures cost, and you don't know anything about how a lighting project replacement goes down.
right. Yeah, that's what it's getting me thinking. Just like we're going to be called to go into places that are already LED.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, how can we fix this? To some degree, how can we make it so we can repair this in the future without having to replace the whole fixture? How can
We
we how can we
have
do
to
that?
go back to lamp shapes.
But do you think that we can actually? Do you think manufacturers are going to stop? Like, what are they going to do with the flat panel fixture? Kill it?
Flat panels are done.
Or
I hate flat panels. I was
everybody hates flat? If
Look,
you're a real lighting
listen.
person, you
I
hate a
remember
flat
back in
panel.
2015, I was like, well, "Sweetie, we have
Gross.
these beautiful MR16 fixtures in my home. Like I have like 140 of them or something like that. Beautiful baffles, like like a nice 3-inch white baffle up with the MR16 at the top. You can put a spot, a narrow flood, whatever. Boom, looks beautiful. You don't see the light source. I'm like, let's put these flat panels in, these 4-inch flat panels. My wife's like, those are ugly. You have to have some
Mm,
sort of baffle on it. So I put in these lights with like a 1/2 inch or a 3/4 inch baffle. Oh my God, I can't even go in my own house without hanging my head in shame.
glare.
Why did I do this?
You had to. That's all that there was. That was a cool thing to do. So that was the
Oh, it's
latest and greatest.
such bad lighting in my own home, and I'm the host of the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast. And I'm searching around trying to find trims now that I can bring back that deep baffle again and get the light source up. I'm still going to be LED, but the
Yeah.
light source up higher in the fixture because everything's sensors. Everything's amazing in my house with sensors. But man, oh God, I just curse the day I threw out those beautiful trims.
Do you think that manufacturers will go back to? They're going to have to. They keep making it narrower and narrower the profile. Now we'll have to go back to the deep troffer fixture
Yeah,
and
it's people don't want to see the
recess
light
cam.
source anymore. Remember how with CFLs in the beginning, everyone's like, I don't want CFLs because they have the white bright light. I don't like that white bright light. What's
Mhm.
going to happen? And then you're like, okay, yeah, this is an incandescent, but it's really a CFL in an incandescent shape, but it's 27K. Oh yeah, that's what we want. Remember those days? I don't know if you remember
Yeah.
those days. You
Mhm.
just give them the CFL in the light bulb shape, and you make it warm white, and they're happy now,
Right.
right? And then LEDs came along or whatever, but it's going to be the same thing. With people are going to want their ceiling recessed luminaires to have a nice baffle, a deep baffle on it. You know what I mean? Where you can't
Yeah.
see the light source.
Mhm.
And it's coming back. I'm telling you right now, especially for facade lighting, outdoor lighting around a building, these flat panels that just blast light everywhere, you got to those are gone.
We'll see, but yeah, I think that's going to be a big part of what we do as lighting distributors is fix issues now.
The problem is
Whether
you
you,
can't like the problem we're always in, Greg, is we can't sell stupid. Like if somebody wants to do what they want, we still sell it. That's the
yeah,
problem.
yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, like, and I think I don't know if it's worse now or what it is because there's so many options and so many different ways you can do it. I ran into a specific application that's an agricultural jelly jar, and I mentioned this before. One
Yeah.
of our sponsors has an exact bulb made for that, and the customer doesn't care. They want the cheapest one. And I'm like, well, okay, here's a 10-pack non-dimming A19 that's not meant for enclosed fixtures. If you want,
Have
if you
fun.
want that,
Have
yeah, good
fun.
luck.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah. You know
They're
everything.
like,
I don't
that's the
know
one I
anything.
want.
I don't know
Okay,
anything. Yeah.
no
Yeah.
warranty.
Yeah, it's all you. Call me.
Yeah,
Call me if you need me. But yeah, the
yeah,
retrofit play has to be a regulatory move. It's not going to come from the lighting industry. The lighting, like what people have to understand, is that the lighting industry has no problem. This is what you listen, regulators. Okay, people listening. The lighting industry is not the problem. Okay, the lighting industry will sell what we're allowed to sell into the sockets. We just want to know if it causes cancer or not. Okay, like if it causes cancer, we don't want to sell it. Okay,
now
we
let us
won't
know
sell.
that.
Yeah, just let us know if it causes cancer. Like put some more. You know when you buy a fishing rod and it's like this
Yeah,
fishing rod in California has determined to cause cancer or something like. You ever seen those little things that are on fishing rods sometimes? Like
not
put that
fishing
up.
rods, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it on a fishing rod. I was like, what the hell? This fishing rod causes cancer? Like start putting labels like that on lighting and see what happens, buddy. It's over. Okay,
Yeah.
it will be over. So look, we need good there's a time for rebates, which we went through, and there's a time for regulation. Okay? There's a time for the carrot, and there's a time for the stick. And if you want circular economy, then you want to go back to the way the lighting industry used to be before LEDs, where we just replaced the components that didn't work and the fixture stayed out of the landfill. If you're hanging light fixtures, Greg, you don't be a loser now. You use
No
that
way.
grip lock systems, man.
Yeah, right, buddy. Cable grippers, toolless adjustability up and down all day, lock it in place, it stays. And then you want to move it without a tool. Go.
Don't be a loser and use Jack Chain. Go to griplocksystems.com. Beautiful. Like you actually have a system for hanging your light fixtures. It's actually an idea that you can teach people to do properly, to hang the
Right.
fixtures level, right? Griplocksystems.com. Of course, do you have light bulbs in a warehouse? Got light bulbs in a warehouse? You sell them? Nailed
Mhm.
is your association. Go to the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors website, NALD.org. We're having a convention September 22nd to 24th. We're also doing a control certification at Lightivation in June. And I'm going to tell you right now, man, don't be a chump. First you're hanging with jack chain. Now you're not going to light fair. You're a chump, Greg Ehrich. You're a
You
chump.
better switch those both around right now and start using the cable gripper and get to light fair.
Get
You
to
have
light
to.
fair. See you there. Bye for now, guys.